Hello, I'm Gail Daly with EXP Realty. I have been asked to share my real estate recruiting efforts and successes with you by our dear friend Marcus Dilley. I've decided to put together 3 different videos addressing different aspects of recruiting. In the end, what I'm hoping is that you'll be very successful, whether you use my techniques or not. You may find them interesting. So here we go. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I have been in real estate for over 18 years, and I've sold insurance for 42 years. So my contact with the public and other professionals has been a very long road. I've learned a lot about people. So in this 101 of 3 series, I'm going to tell you my secret in how I match and run with my clients on the phone. And you can use this technique whether you're selling real estate or whether you're recruiting or anything else. And it seems to work. My biggest secret is when I talk to somebody, I imagine that they're my friend or my mother or my sister or one of my kids, but it makes it easier to pick up the phone if I can imagine this person as part of my family or my friend group. Picking up the phone is probably the hardest thing you're going to do. And it doesn't seem that hard, but it's the call reluctance that gets us. So if you can sit and imagine that you're talking to somebody that you already know, then it makes it a lot easier. You come across as more genuine. If you're talking to experienced agents, you might want to look up their past record in the MLS and make sure that you have a little bit of understanding their success, what they've dealt with, and how long they've been in the business, that sort of thing. You don't want to sound like you're oblivious, because it's going to come across like you don't care. You don't care enough to do the background search to find out how successful or what the problems are. But the first thing, after you can pick up the phone and you've got the person listening to you, is you're going to introduce yourself, of course, but you're not going to start out with, you have to listen to what I have to say. What you're going to do is congratulate them on something you found out about them and be genuine about it, because that comes across. When you're talking with somebody, they will feel whether or not you're being genuine, and they will listen to you if they know you are. So that's really important, and you know that already. But this ties into so many issues when you're dealing with somebody that you probably don't know very well, and you need to establish rapport as quickly as possible. Your ultimate goal is to have someone come to the meetings, at least one, and get the real information in the detail. You're not here to present the detail, maybe just a brief outline of how the company is structured, but if you get too far into the weeds, you'll never get them to come to a meeting. The first thing you're going to hear from someone is that they're happy where they are. Well, of course they are. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. What they don't know and what you know is they could be happier. For instance, catchphrases, once you agree with where they are and they're happy, it's like, you know what, I know that, and I've heard that before, but I have something that you might be interested in if you just give me 30 seconds. And it's very easy to say. It's really great, whatever your commission split is, it's really great, okay? But far beyond that, every single year, you start out in January all over again. Well, When you get down the pike a bit, 5, 10 years down the road, and the excitement's worn off, or the real estate market's taking a hit, what else is going on? You're starting over every single year at zero, and you have to work as hard or harder every January to make your goals, to make your income. 30 seconds. This is what I call my elevator speech. You want to be able to say it quickly. So what you do is, you're happy where you are. You know that every year you start over. Wouldn't it be nice? Imagine that. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to start over every single year, but to have an income already working for you because of your efforts? You might say, wow, but I don't have much time. Well, who has enough time for anything anymore? And you're busy earning a living selling real estate. So I challenge you to contact two people every day. That's not a lot. It's a 5-minute conversation. You don't have to know them really. Somebody that you worked with on the other side of the deal, an agent that has caught your eye, that has a really good knack for getting listings in the right neighborhood or the higher end neighborhoods. They may be a tough nut to crack, but you can do it. You only need to make the phone call. It's up to them whether or not they have any interest. Whatever seed that you plant, when you make that call, leave the door open, always stay positive. So what you want to do is make sure they understand that you know they're happy where they are and that they face challenges too. If you get beyond that in the conversation, you might want to move on to, there's enough opportunity here beyond printing new ID cards or new business cards and new signs and all of that, because that's a hassle and we all have been through that. But beyond that, the opportunity is so great that if they don't decide to at least come to a meeting and find out, they may get left behind. Now, how do you say that without sounding desperate? I think everybody owes themselves, and this is what I tell them, everybody owes themselves the opportunity to listen and to hear different ideas. At the very least, you come away with something. Every time you attend anything, whether it's a self-help group or a new real estate company, or even new people with new ideas, you learn something every time. I never pass up an opportunity to learn, so I stress that. For that lunch, you're busy, you fit a lunch in here, a lunch in there, it's not that much time, but it's so well worth it. When they hear the message, they either get it or they don't, or maybe the timing isn't right. You know, we all have listings and buyers and we're all working. How do you make that transition? It's not easy. So you need to acknowledge the difficulty in transferring companies, because it does take extra time out of the schedule, but the rewards are so much better. So now we're going to move on to, if you contact 2 people every single day, you've contacted 60 people in a month. If you have even a 20% success ratio, you've recruited 12 agents. If you have 1%, you'll have contracted a new person into the company, and you have also set your retirement goals up, your investment goals. So it's well worth it. So there's every reason to pick up the phone. There's no reason not to when it's only 2 calls a day. That's the way I measure my day. And of course, we're all under the gun, and there's not enough hours. So set aside the same time every day so that it becomes a habit. And once you've done that every day for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, pretty soon it'll just become a normal part of your day. Also, don't forget to keep records. And when you need to follow up with somebody, or you feel they have an interest but it's not a right time, make a note in your calendar and get back to them, because we all know how important that is. Well, stand by. We have 2 more sessions, 102 and 103. And in session 102, I hope to give you a PowerPoint to go through as you're speaking with somebody, to have some alternative phrases, because you're going to hear the same remarks whenever you're talking to people, like, I'm happy where I am. So what I want to do is give you the ability to move with them and answer their questions. Remember, don't get too far into the weeds. In part 3, I'm going to give you all of the links and connections and further information that may be of help to you. I hope that you reach your goals, whatever they are, whether they're personal or they're business. But mostly, I hope this is helpful to your recruiting efforts. And I thank you for the time, and stay tuned for part 102.